Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 55 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Before we start, there is a little caveat that I've got to throw in because we're going to be talking about lots of different things in the show today. We have had to record this episode early, and the reason for that is when this episode actually comes out, we'll be in sunny Ibiza on a beach somewhere, well, in Ibiza, but on a beach, in the pool, having a beer, whatever it may be, that's where we will be. So we've had to record this early. So the caveat is that everything that we're about to discuss is correct at the time of recording. But please bear in mind, we've recorded this 3 days before it's actually come out. Important to say before we get a slew of comments going, well, they've released more up-to-date information since this. Yes, that is the reason why. So there you go. So we will start, I think, with Mr. Mullin's injury. Let's start with that. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but Paul Mullin sustained a punctured lung during the friendly in inverted commas with Manchester United on what day was it? Tuesday, something like that. I don't even know what day it is. It was after a collision, let's call it a collision, with Man United goalkeeper Nathan Bishop. Mm-hmm. So we've all seen it.
We have.
What did you make of it? Honest assessment.
Obviously, I wasn't there, so things are always different on the TV. But I dare say they're better on the TV because you get lots of angles and you get replays. Yeah, I think, from a woman's point of view, I think he meant to do it.
Do you?
I do.
Do you really?
I think everybody, I don't know what it is, but because obviously Paul Mullin is one of our top players.
Yes.
And I just feel like everybody, or not everybody, but people who play us, whether it are friendly or not, I just think that someone's trying to injure Paul Mullin, so he's out.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll take your point on board. I don't completely disagree with you. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree or agree, I don't think. A couple of points for me is, obviously, as you well know, I was a defender. If a striker was to get in behind me,
yes,
1-on-1 with a keeper, and he nudged the ball past the keeper, yeah. Just as a side note, what I'm talking about is in a competitive game, not a friendly, in a competitive game. The striker nudges it past the goalkeeper. That's what I'd want my goalkeeper to do, is to clean him out. That's what I would want him to do. Okay. That's the first point. It was a friendly, though. But the question for me is, can players just turn it on and off? Going, this is competitive, I'm not going to do that. Look, it was mistimed. It was clumsy. Did he mean it? Maybe.
I just feel like on the VT, I just feel like he kind of went in towards
leaned
Mullin.
Into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I'm trying to look at it objectively. You know, I'm taking away from the fact that we're Wrexham fans. I'm trying to look at it objectively.
As
I say, as a defender, that's what I'd want him to do. Okay. Because if you look at it from that side, you're going into it 60-40, let's say, 65-30, whatever. He nudges it past you and you do nothing, he scores. Now, in a competitive setting, that just doesn't happen. You take him out and you just hope that the ref sees that as a coming together and a clash. That's what you do. But it's not a competitive game. But then my question is, can players just turn it off going, in that sort of heat of the moment, 50-50 ball scenario, can players just go, right, this is just a friendly, I'll back away from this? Or is it always there as that competitive thing? And then is he always going to do what he would always do, regardless of whether it's friendly or competitive? You get my point.
I get your point, but I still think.
Look, it's terrible. It was ugly. It was clumsy. It was mistimed or very well timed, wherever it was, and it resulted in an injury. I don't condone things like that, but it's sort of what I would expect the keeper to do, to stop the player from scoring whatever means necessary. That's sort of what was it a red card in your mind?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Was he given one? I don't know.
No, he carried on playing. So
I just think it's disgusting.
Okay, right. I've got another point here about red cards. I personally don't agree with red cards in friendlies. Okay?
Do they mean anything?
It doesn't benefit anybody, does it? Because if you're playing a friendly, the point of that friendly is to, to get game time against 11 men. It doesn't benefit Wrexham playing against 10 men. Do you know what I mean? But you want to be playing against the best possible opposition you have. I always think in friendlies, if someone, I don't think you should be allowed to stay on the field, but I think, for everyone's benefit, maybe you should sort of be going, right, okay, this is a red card challenge, which I think it probably was. Denies goal scoring opportunity. He didn't really make an attempt to play the ball. I think it was a red card. Okay. Mm-hmm. But in a scenario where it's a friendly, for me, you sort of go, right, he should be getting sent off here. So sub him. I don't want him on the field. And we'll bring another keeper on. You're still 11 versus 11. Everyone's still getting out of the game what they need to get out of the game, be it fitness, be it tactically. You're not having to adjust just to play against 10 men and then the game's dead.
Yeah.
You're still playing against 11. And I think you're getting the same out of it as you would because it's a friendly. So I've never been a fan. I mean, people might shoot me down, say what you want, but I've never been a fan of red cards in friendlies. Yes, get them off the pitch, but bring somebody on. You've gone into that game expecting to play 11 men and you want to get something out of that game. So let's carry on getting out of that game, what we set out to get out from it. Nobody wants to play against a weakened team. Why do you want to play a weakened team? You might as well just not bother. And that's sort of my point. I understand the rules of the game. I get what should be done. For me, it's not, it's not the done thing to do.
So there's no word on the length of how long Paul Mullin's going to be off.
At the point of recording.
At the point of recording, obviously. But I believe, I've seen info going around that it could be 1 to 2 weeks. It could be 6 to 8 weeks. So whatever happens, however long it takes, he's definitely not going to be, I would say, in the first couple of games at least.
There's a couple of things with punctured lungs. Normally, if you've got a punctured lung, you're in hospital for at least a week.
He wasn't.
He was out after 24 hours. So that bodes well.
Yes.
Firstly.
He was up and about as well.
There's quite a big scale of punctured lung as well. There's the one that is severe, and you need a syringe to drain air out of and to reinflate your lung and do all that sort of thing. You're looking at least 8 weeks to be out for that. You've also got a punctured lung, which is a very, very small tear in there, which leaks a very small amount of air and it heals by itself. It doesn't need draining, nothing like that. So there's your two ends of the scale. So I dare say he's at the lower end of that scale.
Luckily.
Very luckily. But, how long it's going to be, it's anyone's guess, isn't it, really? I just think it bodes well that he was out within 24 hours.
He was up and about, talking to the lads. I just think he put on Twitter that he, obviously his key focus now is to get better and recover. So obviously there is going to be, he's not going to be at the game next Saturday on the 4th, is he? 5th, sorry. I just think he's a Scouser. They're made of strong stuff. He'll be back up
Yeah,
like
hopefully.
I said on Twitter, it'll be back smashing goals in for us before we know it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely. So the keeper's obviously apologised, quite publicly apologised, and the next day he was sold to Sunderland. I don't think that was. I don't think it was directly. No, I don't think so. But having said that, it seems a bit strange to take someone on a tour of America to sell them while they're still there. Seems a bit odd, that. But anyway,
but can you do a sale that quick?
It seems, no, exactly. That's the other thing. Anyway, it's he's he's gone to Sunderland now. So, for you, who's playing? I know what your answer is, because we've done a little prediction of the team. So I'm not going to ask you the question. I'll remind you of what you said.
Thank you, because I can sort of remember. But...
So you would start with Dalby, wouldn't you? You'd start with Dalby and you'd start with Waters. That's your sort of. I mean, yes. Do you think that's the way it's going to go?
I don't know, because Cannon's been playing quite well. Well, he did be, but
Cannon's a midfielder, though.
Oh, is
this
he?
This is where you're losing track of where your positions, aren't you?
Oh, sorry, Ollie Palmer.
Yes.
Yes,
you got Bickerstaff as well. Remember, you've got Bickerstaff, and I'm going to make a point about Bickerstaff now. Bickerstaff.
You said Bickerstaff anymore.
And when he's come in,
yeah,
he has never let us down.
No,
never. He has always performed, and I think he deserves something. I am not saying for 1 second he deserves to come from the reserves and leapfrog everybody straight into the team. But we've got more subs this season.
So maybe he could be on the bench.
He deserves a place on that bench. Yeah. If you want to put two strikers on the bench, because you're going to have to, because there is definitely at least one benched striker going to be in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he deserves something. He's always delivered when he's played.
Maybe he'll play in the Carabao Cup on the
maybe
on the 8th of August.
Maybe. Do you think it makes the team stronger or weaker? Not
what, without Mullin?
Yeah, I don't mean just stronger or weaker. I think obviously it makes the team weaker. I mean mentally. How do you think that? Do you think that the guys go, do you know what? He's out. Mm-hmm. That's fine. Let's band together.
They did in the second half of that Man United game.
Band of brothers, all that sort of thing.
And even
but that's just a friendly, remember?
So?
Yeah, okay, yeah. But going into the season, how does that affect you mentally? A star man who scored loads of goals for us last season isn't playing? Or is it the brothers in arms, all lads together?
Yeah, the way that these lads have like gelled together over the past couple of seasons, I think that they will surprise us. But I think as well, they're probably thinking he's only out for a little bit of the season. Yes. Whereas he comes back, and, who knows what's going to happen.
Mm.
Well, we're going to win. We're going to get promoted.
I mean, he might, let's say he misses the first 5 games of the season. Yeah. Let's say. That's not from anything I know. I'm just plucking a figure out there.
Would you argue that those 5 games, obviously the figure that you've given, do you think the beginning games of the season are more important than the mid or the last part of the season? Or do you think every single game that we play is just as important as the next one?
In any normal season, my answer would be different. For this season, where we've come up a division, for me, the first 10...
Division? Do you mean league? You sound so old saying division.
Anyway, we've come up at league, sorry. I'm an 80s child.
I know.
It was division I was a kid.
I keep saying premiership, to be honest, when I'm talking to people, so it's like... Yeah.
I think you've got to find your feet early to give you a good foundation for a good season.
Yeah.
I think you've got to find your feet early and you've got to kick on. For me, them first 10 games are really important. And in a season, any other season, if you've been in a league for a few years, I think it's a little bit different. You've got to have your strengths in different parts of the season. For me, the first 10 are really important.
Oh, great.
So, I know. Look, we've been linked with someone. A lot of the reports, the media's doing my head in at the moment. I've got to be honest. Some of the reports that are coming out, not just about transfers, just about all sorts of stuff, just misquotes from people, and it's infuriating.
Are you talking about the quote from Ollie Palmer?
No, I'm talking about just the way the media portray what Phil Parkinson had said after the game, and the way that they. It's just, I don't even.
Oh yeah, did he apparently say the goalkeeper better watch himself because these lads aren't happy?
I've watched the interview. I know what he said. The deviations in what he said that have been reported.
That's journalism for you, though.
Criminal. Anyway. We've been linked with James Norwood, striker. We were a lot of the reports in the media we've since Paul Mullin's injury, we've been linked with James Norwood. Now we were linked with him before. This has been ongoing for a while. I still believe we might go in for him.
Who does he play for at the moment?
Barnsley. Is he at Barnsley? He used to be with Mullin at Tranmere. They know each other very well. I think they used to room together on away days. They know each other well. Yeah. So that's why that's been a rumour for a long time. But I've heard more of it in the last couple of weeks. And obviously now Mullin's gone out, it's going to be even stronger. So I think maybe it's true, maybe not. But as we found out with Will Boyle, we don't tend to know what the club are up to until the very last second.
When this goes out,
yeah, we might already be there.
We may have signed James Norwood even.
James Norden.
James Norden. I was thinking James Corden.
Yeah.
But obviously, at the time of recording, we have to keep saying it because we don't want people to be like, well, your facts were really wrong on your podcast this week.
Let's move on from injuries anyway. Yeah. Just to talk quickly about the game, which was very good. Very good.
Wasn't a friendly.
Mullin went off, and obviously it was the 18th, 19th minute when he got injured. Leon Hayden scored in the first half to put us 2-0 up.
Doesn't Hayden look like a brute?
He's bulked.
He's bulked.
He has definitely bulked.
He's had so much time to recover from his injury, and he's definitely taken advantage of that.
He looks a real unit now.
He does.
I was looking at him, I was going, wow, he's put on some beef.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he does.
He looks good.
But not beef as in like... Not beef as in he's been eating, like beef as if he's been working.
He's got like tree trunk arms.
Yeah, he has.
He's looking well, to be fair.
Man United pulled one back just before half time, and then we made the customary 10 subs at half time.
Can you imagine if that happened in like a real game?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, mental. So they got a red card after 47 minutes. I'm not going to go into it again. I've made my point clear about red cards in friendlies. Was it a red card? Letter of the law, probably. He was maybe.
I thought you weren't going into it again.
A little bit out of control. I just don't agree.
End of.
Move on. Sam Dalby, your favourite, scored 69 minutes.
Oh, Dalbs.
And it finished 3-1 in front of 34,248.
I think Rob was there
fans.
As well.
He was indeed. Yeah, I saw him being interviewed on Sky Sports.
He looked. Ream, as they say, as the kids say. He looked really well as well.
That's another reason, by the way, that not Rob, the attendance. That's another reason why I'm a big believer in not having red cards in friendlies. I think you need to keep it. You've got 35,000 people there.
Yeah.
You want to see a good competitive game. There's nothing on the line. It's a friendly, good competitive game. 35 people, paid lots of money. Let's get that, that's another reason.
Right, okay.
Anyway, so Wrexham have, as you listen to this, they played Philadelphia Union.
And they won.
They won. Let's do it. Go on.
Okay, I predict that Wrexham will win.
Yeah.
2-1.
2-1, I'm going for 4-1. Let's move on. Who knows what the score was? I don't care, I'm on my holidays. So just to move on, the podcast is 1 year old.
Yeah.
It's actually 1 year old tomorrow. But we started it on the 1st of August.
We did.
Today is the 31st of July. Yeah.
When this goes out.
That's correct. So it's been a year. just some stats for you.
Okie doke.
We're just under 900 subs on YouTube at the moment.
Yeah.
We've had 105,000 views.
Can I just interject?
Yeah.
If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Come on, get us to that 1,000 subs.
Yes, just do it. 105,000 views. 8,000 hours we've been watched for. These beautiful faces have been watched on YouTube for 8,000 hours.
That's mental.
That is mental. We've had over 27,000 downloads of the podcast in 77 different countries. And so thank you. Thank you to everybody. Did you think it would be this successful?
No. I
No.
didn't. I just thought, do you know what? It's something that me and you wanted to do.
Bit of fun.
But yeah, just
well, it is fun.
Oh God, yeah, it is fun. But kind of just chewing the fat after a game, and obviously during the off season, we've been chatting to people, and I didn't think. How about you? Did you think it'd be this popular?
No, everything I do is quite good. So, I had a feeling...
Well, you did marry me, so yeah.
No.
What?
No, I'm only joking. No, I didn't. I'm same as you, really. I didn't
Just thought, I mean, I think at the beginning when we started this, we were like, if we get 100 subs or 100 people watching us, even in the Wrexham area, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You know, that'd satisfy us. But oh my God,
worldwide, baby.
Oh my God, we're global.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite? Sorry, I was going to move on, but I just read a question. You got a favourite moment? So this is episode 55. Do you have a favourite moment from all of it?
I don't know. I don't think I could pick out one. I enjoyed the interviews. I've enjoyed those.
Yeah, I enjoyed Bryn Law, and Lee Jones as well was really good. We've got a few more coming up soon as well. You know, we said that a while ago, but we actually have now. So
I just think I don't think there is one specific moment that I'll go, do you know what? That's my favourite moment of all time.
They're all good. That's fine.
Exactly.
They're all good moments. Just a little bit of news before we move on to the game coming up. The USA Tour casual wear is now available in the club shop. So the sort of khaki shorts and the navy blue polo shirt that the players have been wearing, they're in the shop, both online and actually in the shop. Yeah.
My brother went to the club shop the other day.
Yeah.
And he took a picture of them and said, "Oh, look, they're selling these in the club shop now." And I looked at the shorts and I said to him, "What sort of material is it?" And Dave was like, "Well, it kind of looks." I thought maybe they look like a linen-y.
Yeah.
But they look more. Dave said they look more like a Hessian, like a sack.
Hessian sack shorts.
Maybe not Hessian actually, but like that sort of material.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of them, to be honest.
Okay, well, at least you've had your opinion. They look quite nice.
I won't be getting a pair.
Okay. The other little thing, Wrexham AFC women will start their Gennaro Adran Premier campaign off with a corker at home to Swansea City on the 5th of September. So we've got a Welsh derby there.
So is their home now the racecourse, or are they still playing?
I don't know that. I haven't seen it. I don't think they went. There was no official confirmation they were going to be playing at the racecourse, so I don't know where their home is. I don't know. I do apologise. I'll look that up for you.
You will get better.
So we got a game this Saturday.
God, that was loud.
Yes, I know, because it's important.
It's important.
MK Dons, first game of the season, Saturday the 5th of August at the racecourse, 3 p.m. kickoff.
Yes.
It is available for international fans on iFollow.
Which is the same as what National League TV,
yes,
but it's just our platform.
Just Google iFollow and you
It's actually, if you go on the website, there's actually a thing on it that says iFollow, so you can get it through from there.
There is. A little bit about MK Dons. Last season, they were relegated from League One. They finished 21st of 24, 1 point from safety. I think they drew their last game of the season, and if they'd have won it, I think they'd have stayed up. But they didn't, so get on with it. They picked up more points away last season than they did at home.
I find this a very interesting fact.
Yeah, so
scary fact considering they're away for their first game.
So they picked up 26 points away and only 19 at home.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a bit of a worry. Their pre-season up until the point when we're recording, they played Wealdstone away.
Yep.
Where they lost 2-1. They played Barnet away where they drew 1-1.
Uh-huh.
And they played Coventry at home where they lost 5-1. So they got
Wealdstone and Barnet are both National League teams, aren't they? Still,
they are. We've got to remember these are still friendly, so I wouldn't draw too much from it. I mean, Arsenal beat Real Madrid 5-3. So no, they didn't. Arsenal beat Barcelona 5-3 the other day. I mean, 8 goals in a game like that. I think it's one of them. I wouldn't read too much into it, to be perfectly honest.
So. MK Dons were formerly known as Wimbledon.
They were. We have discussed this on the podcast before. So they went AFC Wimbledon. So just very brief. You'll have to go back to a previous episode. I give the full facts about it. But basically, Wimbledon FC were a club, and the powers that be controversially decided to up sticks and move the club from Wimbledon to Milton Keynes, which is why that's what the MK stands for. They are MK Dons or Milton Keynes Dons. The reason for the Dons is that was Wimbledon's nickname. They were the Dons. So they basically picked the club up, dumped it in Milton Keynes. The Wimbledon fans were furious. Didn't want to travel up to Milton Keynes to go and watch their team playing anymore.
Their home team, yeah.
They were Wimbledon for a little bit and then they changed the name to MK Dons. Because Wimbledon fans were like, we want nothing to do with this club anymore. They get jokingly referred to as franchise FC because they just picked them up and moved them.
Just like we're Hollywood FC.
Yeah, so they get that plastic FC. They get called as well because they're not a real football club because they got no history. They get a lot of abuse, and then basically AFC Wimbledon are a club that was created in the Wimbledon community as a response to what happened. They started again from scratch, and they shot up the leagues, and they are in League Two. Can't
it be argued that they're not a real football team because they've got no history, or is their history?
Well, no, because their history's from scratch, isn't it? Whereas MK Dons tried to steal somebody else's history. And yes, so so they do get a lot of abuse, rightly so.
Do you reckon they'll get abuse at the home game?
Probably. The last game that we played against them was in 2008, and that was in League Two, and we lost 4-1.
No, was that home or away?
That was at home.
Oh. But I mean, we've got a stronger team now.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. Yeah. Their top scorer last season was Mo Issa, who scored 13 goals. Do you want a fact about Mo Issa? He was linked with Wrexham not long ago.
Oh, for God's sake.
There was a story that he'd had a bust up with the manager. He was looking for another club, and there was a rumour we were going to put a bid in. We never did. How true the rumour is, I'm going to give it 0 credence, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yes.
They're managed by Graham Alexander, former player.
Did he invent the telephone? Graham Alexander Bell?
No, that was Alexander Graham Bell.
Oh.
Was it? Oh, I don't know. You confused me now.
I think it was.
He played for, amongst others, Luton, Preston, Burnley. He's managed a few clubs. He was, I think, before he was at MK Dons, he was at Motherwell manager.
Scotland, yeah?
For Scotland, yeah, for a season or two.
Where's he from? He sounds like he's got a Scottish name.
I can't remember, I don't know.
Or Scottish.
Stop asking me questions. I don't know the bloody answers.
Just like to put you on the socks.
Yeah.
On the socks.
On the socks. Just like to put you on the socks. They sold out their allocation. They don't normally have an amazing away following, MK Dons.
It's Wrexham though, isn't it?
But yeah, it's Wrexham. So they had just over 1,100 tickets, and they have sold them all. So kudos to you, but you're going to watch your team lose. So but they'll be quite used to that because they watched them lose loads of times last season. So we get to do this again now. Predictions. What is your prediction?
Do you know what I thought? I thought you were going to do a transition then or something with that clap.
No, not at all. No,
we were going to be an Ibiza. Not quite.
No. prediction.
Okay,
Score.
prediction. I'm going to go with a very conservative 3-1. Is that conservative?
That's what I was going to go for.
Well, you can still go for it.
I'm not going to.
Oh, God, you're so stupid.
No, I'm not.
You can do the same as me, you know.
I'm going to go good, solid defensive showing. I'm going to go for... Oh, Ash Greenman's here. I'm going to go for 2-0.
Okay.
2-0.
God, that's loud.
It is. Billy Waters double, maybe? No, I'm not even going to throw that out there because I'm just making it more difficult for myself.
No.
2-0.
3-1 for me.
Okay, that's fine. Now, we tried, we predicted what the team was going to be, didn't we?
We did.
Which I mentioned earlier. So, I'm going to put yours up on screen first.
Yeah.
So there it is.
So everyone can laugh at how crap it is.
No, not at all. So there's your team. So talk us through your team. So you've gone for Super Ben Foster in goal.
Obviously.
I don't think we need to talk about that. Who's your back three? Well, everyone can see who your back three is if we're watching it on YouTube.
So I've gone for O'Connell, Tozer and Hayden.
Okay.
Obviously we haven't seen Hayden that much, obviously, since his injury.
No, we've seen him in the friendlies though. He's there.
Yeah, but
popped up with a couple of goals. He's all right. He's firing on all cylinders.
But I can't wait to see him play again, basically. And Tozer, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Your right wing back is Ryan Barnett.
Yes.
And your left wing back is Mendy. Difficult choice for either of them over Ford and McFadzean?
Yeah. I mean, when you initially asked me to kind of do my team prediction, I was like, oh, I really like Ford, who, by the way, has been with the club 1 year.
I know, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I like Callum McFadzean as well because he's one of the OGs.
Yeah.
So, can you class Ford? You can't class Ford as an OG, can you? Really?
Not for you, no.
No. So yeah, it was a difficult choice, but you know, Mendy has really stepped up, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, after that goal at the was it the Bournemouth game?
Yeah.
My favourite goal of the season.
No, that was Notts County.
Notts County.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. I love him. So yeah, Barnett and Mendy.
Your midfield three?
Jones, James Jones, Elliot Lee and O'Connor.
Okay, and your front two?
See, this was difficult. Dalbs, obviously, that wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
But obviously, with Billy Waters, I don't think he came on obviously for Mullin when he went off injured. And
played well as well.
He played well. And I just think, I just think he, I mean, obviously Ollie Palmer, we've got him, he's a strong candidate, but I would just like to see Waters.
Okay. All right.
Do his stuff.
Okay. So my team is now up on the screen. It's very similar to yours. I might make a slight adjustment. So I've gone Foster in goal.
No, you're not allowed to make an adjustment.
Very similar to you. I've got O'Connell, Tozer and Hayden. Now, the amendment I think I might make is O'Connell out and Boyle in. Now, the reason for that is Boyle is a left-sided central defender.
Mm-hmm.
O'Connell is a right-sided central defender. That's where Hayden's playing. I've got a sneaking suspicion that Boyle might play instead of O'Connell. But I've gone for the same back three as you. I've gone for the same wing backs of you. I've gone for Mendy and Barnett. My midfield three is slightly different to yours. I've gone for O'Connor, Lee and Cannon, where you've gone for Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It is tight, and there's nothing wrong with your midfield three. I just think Cannon pips Jones at this moment in time.
I just think James Jones is a brute on the pitch. He's just like, he's just constant.
Know. I think he has definitely got his part to play, but I just think Cannon's going to start for me.
We shall see.
My front two is Palmer and Waters.
I know why you've chosen Palmer.
Yeah, because he's an AFC Wimbledon fan.
And I think,
and he'll want to...
See, I didn't think of that when I was thinking of my men.
Right, just before we get into the fan forum, because we're going to run out of time otherwise, but another reason is if Mullin plays, I think Dalby plays. That's what I think happens. Mm. If it's Waters, I don't think Dalby plays. I think you go with someone with experience like Palmer.
Okay, yeah.
So I think his experience, when you've lost one of your strikers,
you need that experience.
I think you need...
Yeah.
Not that Billy Waters doesn't have experience, but he doesn't necessarily have experience in this team.
And obviously, Ollie Palmer's played for Wimbledon, so AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, but we're not playing them, or we're playing MK Dons. But but yeah. So I just think Waters and Palmer's the better pairing out of the two.
Well, we'll see.
We will
Saturday.
See. We will. Anyway, fan forum, the last one before the season kicks off. So this week, we've got a season ticket holder.
We do.
We know
him very, very well.
Yes, we've got Phil from Wrexham. How are you, Phil?
Fine. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast today. I'd just like to say welcome to the both of you to this sunny side of Wrexham.
It's always sunny in Wrexham.
Phil, you look a bit familiar. Have we met before?
Possibly around the pubs in town, maybe. I don't know. It could be, or maybe there's another connection somewhere. I would have to ask the wife.
For anybody who doesn't know, which most of you are not going to know, Phil isn't Phil to me. Phil is Dad. So Phil is my dad. And Sharon's father-in-law, obviously. So yeah, we're getting my dad on this week. A little bit of nepotism to end our fan forums. So you obviously come to all of the games with us. You come to all the home games. Any away games that we go to, you come to them as well.
Unless your mum's booked a holiday.
Unless mum's booked a holiday. But there was one game last season that you decided that you didn't want to come to. And that would be the Coventry game. So now that you look back on that, do you regret that?
I wouldn't say that I didn't want to come, and I do regret it. Although I watched it on the television, there's nothing like being at an actual game, the atmosphere, and I did really regret not going. When you saw the result, when I saw the game, yes, I did.
It was a good game.
Yeah, I suppose you wouldn't have minded maybe swapping that one with maybe the Halifax game, maybe that we went to?
Yes, the Halifax game was a bit of a wasted journey, really, wasn't it, for the performance that they showed to us. Yes, I would have swapped it.
They made up for it, though, didn't they?
Yeah, we got there in the end.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Of all the one question, I don't think I've ever asked you. So, of all the games that we've been to, let's go for first. Let's go for in the Rob and Ryan era. So since they've taken over all the games that we've been to, is there one that sort of sticks out that you as your favourite?
I'm going to mention three really because one game, the first game, the Dover game. I mean, that was just an absolute crazy game. And I think we all ended up hugging people. We didn't know who they were, where they were from or whatever. So that was one. The second one, I've got to pick the Notts County game as, out of this world, like really. But the main one for me would be the Boreham Wood game when we got over that line and got promotion. That for me was the best game, that we could have had.
I think it's a weird one for me because we've had this conversation on the podcast.
We have, yeah.
Where it's strange, isn't it? Because the Boreham Wood game was an alright game, but it was what the game meant.
Yeah.
That sort of took it that little bit extra, wasn't it?
And the fact that I let you run on the pitch as well.
You let me run on the pitch. Do you think since Ryan and Rob have come in, what am I trying to get at? What were your sort of expectations? Are they sort of exceeded expectations for you, or do you think that this is what you sort of expected to happen?
I would say they've far exceeded what I expected. I when they came in, I thought if we could fill the ground every game, obviously do modifications to the game like the cop and whatever, but if they could fill that ground every home game, take so many supporters to away games, I would be happy with that. But what they've done to take this club worldwide is, far exceeded what I expected of them, really.
Well, I mean, we haven't always had Ryan and Rob. I mean, it would have been nice. We probably would have been a bit further up the divisions by now. But yeah, so let's put Ryan and Rob to one side for a minute. If we go, because I know you've been watching Wrexham since the 70s, let's say, but
when you were just a little boy,
just a little boy in the 70s. But what do you have? Do you have a game that sort of stands out from you pre Ryan and Rob?
I started supporting 67, 68 season. Obviously, because I was working then, I was able to pay to go to the football. As for the game prior to them, the obvious one has got to be the Arsenal game. Well, you were there with me to take my son to see such a game. Yeah, that's the one that stands out for me.
Oh, such a touching moment. So obviously we've talked about it earlier on the podcast, but Mullin is going to be out for a few weeks at least with his injury that he got inflicted on him at the Man United game. How do you think we will get on without him?
I've always said that we're not a one-man team, although Mullin is, to me, out of the way he plays, what he creates. He's absolutely a fantastic player. I'd like to think that we can cope without him for a short period and just hold our own and not maybe lose any games. Just keep going as we have done in the past.
Do you think we bring anyone in?
I'd like to give Dalby and Waters a go, or Palmer and Waters. Dalby and Palmer, I think, are two similar playing style. So, as I say, it would either be Palmer and Waters, or Dalby and Waters, or Dalby and Waters.
I think it's more of a question now, isn't it? Because I think some people are getting a little bit annoyed on social media in the sense of going, look, we've got strikers. We don't need to be bringing someone in. I think the question now is more, do we need cover for the cover? This is what Waters was brought in for. He was brought in to cover Mullin, and he, I would guess, is going to get that opportunity now. Mm-hmm. But do we now need cover for Waters?
Cover.
Yeah. That, I think that's the question. MK Dons, first game, Saturday. Score prediction. We've done ours. What's yours?
I'd like to see a win, obviously. I think this season's going to be a lot harder than we've seen in the past. So either a draw or 2-1 to us.
2-1. Interesting. I'll ignore the draw. We'll go for 2-1. We'll say that you've said 2-1.
That's yours, isn't it? 2-1?
No, I went for 2-0.
I was 3-1.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
I've got a bit more faith in than you two.
What about the season as a whole then? How do you think that's gonna pan out?
As I said, I think it's going to be a not as easy season. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but like we've seen in the past. I think we'll be up there, definitely up there somewhere. I'd like to see us in. It wouldn't bother me if we were in the first three. Playoffs, I hate the playoffs because it's just a lottery, and I don't like them at all. So in the first three, I'd say yes, we're there.
What about momentum-wise, though? You say you take the first three. I think anyone would take the top three. what for momentum wise, do you think it matters where you finish there going into the next season after that? If you finish as champions, do you think that gives you a better springboard into the new season, or do you think just being promoted's good enough?
Being back in the second division, not being there for quite a while, I think any one of the players would take promotion. Nice to be a champion, the champions, but I think they'd take it, definitely without.
It would be nice to be champions, though.
It would be again. It's nice that one.
Pitch invasion again.
Yeah.
Well, I think we do a pitch invasion even if they got promotion.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, good. I'm all in for it then.
I could hear Shan at the side of me saying, "Get on the pitch! Get on the pitch!"
I'm never going to live that down, am I? Oh, it was a good moment though, wasn't it? It was a good moment. So, what? So I'll get my words out in a minute. What would you like to see over the next 5 years?
I'd like to see us, obviously, moved up, and I'd like to see us in the championship, holding our own in the championship. And even if it meant staying there for, 1 or 2 seasons, just to get to there, because I remember them in the old second division, which is the championship now. So I'd like to get back to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think we can do it.
I can see that in 5 years. I don't see any reason why not. One last question before we just move into something else. We've done our team predictions. Me and Shan have done our team predictions. Our back three generally the same. Keepers the same. Wing backs we've gone for the same ones. I'm a bit iffy on my back three now. I wanted to change it, but Shan wouldn't let me. But anyway,
no.
So where we differ is our midfield three and our front two. So if you went for available players that we have now that are fit, who would your midfield three be?
Lee, without a doubt. O'Connor. James Jones.
Oh, so that's what Shan's gone for. Shan went for Jones. I went for Cannon. And I think it's it's close. It's close. And I'll be interested.
My father-in-law loves me more.
And what about your front two? That's where we differ as well.
Just going back to midfield, Cannon, I would have in there to come on, later in the game. But front two, as I said before, Dalby and Waters or Palmer and Walters. It's one or the other.
Well, which one is it?
If you had to make the decision, you have to make the decision. Which two would you have?
Palmer and Waters. Waters is an unknown thing at the moment, isn't he? Because we haven't really seen him play. Only the odd, Torquay played, didn't he? But Palmer definitely in there.
That's why I went Palmer and Waters, especially for my point was, I think if Mullin plays, I think Dalby plays. But I think with Waters playing, I think you need Palmer in there. And that was my sort of thinking. Anyway, we will come back to you in just a second for the quiz. So people who got in touch this week. We've had
loads of comments.
We do,
and
just
messages.
to run through. So we had Rob Abel, Phil, who is at Slap Banjo, and Wrexham AFC Brazil. Got in touch with us on Twitter, mainly because there was a pop-up bar, a pop-up turf.
It was massive.
In San Diego. It was huge. And some eagle-eyed people spotted behind the bar our logo in a frame behind that pop-up turf, which was really cool.
Oh, it was amazing. I'm trying to find out who are the people who decided to put that turf up.
Whoever it is, thank you very much.
Yeah, people know who we are.
Yes. Do you want to run through some people?
Let's right. So YouTube, Stoner Combat Vet commented on our latest video, basically saying that he pre-ordered the home kit. It was shipped on July the 4th. but he still hasn't received it, and he's just asking anyone else have a super long wait. David Middleton, talking about the Chelsea game. Chelsea was about depth and pace. They have a ton of internationals and the facilities to maximise performance. This is why we need a proper training centre. That's critical. If we get to the Championship, we won't be able to attract high-end facilities. Blodeye. What a lovely guy you had join in this week, talking about Peter. If a third of our fans are as dedicated and passionate, we will have the best supporters in the league. Looking forward to your catch-ups through the next season. Silvio Fancy Boy, I love that name. We are massive, and then he's put in brackets, a new team slogan, up the town.
Well, people hate us enough without us going around with "We are massive" on a bus.
I know, yeah. Carlo Wilson, Peter was simply the best. You should have him on every week or at least once a month. Best episode ever. I had a blast. Keep up the good work. Latrobe, Pennsylvania. That's where he's from. Logan Leroy. Well, in today's Lost in Translation, I learned the word chuffed meant it sounds too close to chafe. And I thought you had been burnt on a last bet of which player was going to go on the score sheet first. Obviously, we were talking about Andy Cannon's goal.
Well, thank you very much to everyone who's got in touch.
I haven't finished.
I know you haven't finished. There was so many more, though, and we just can't fit everybody in. But thank you for getting in touch. We will make a little spot next week and we will try and fit everybody in who's got in touch.
And if you're not already subscribed, head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It's completely free, but it helps us out massively.
You've got a little frog in your throat.
I have,
It's not very good for a podcast. Really.
Sorry.
No, never mind.
Not husky enough.
If you want to get in touch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Anyway, it's quiz time. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Good.
Are you ready, Phil?
Yes, I'm ready. Just one question first, though, Sian.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what hat he has got on? As Peter said last week, Peter was brilliant. Yeah. Has he got the car salesman hat on?
Every week, Phil. Every week.
Every week.
Or the lawyer's hat? Because when I hear these questions, obviously I listen to the questions and I listen to the answers. I pick number one, I pick number two, and I pick number three, and I think they're all correct.
Well, good luck, because it is quite difficult, to be fair.
It's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I say.
Right, number one.
Yep.
Andy Cannon. I've done an Andy Cannon question because he scored his first goal for the club, didn't he, the other week? So, Andy Cannon's goal against LA Galaxy was his first goal for 369 days. Or number two, Andy Cannon has the same middle name as John Bon Jovi. I watched a video about John Bon Jovi this week. That's why it's in there. Or number three, Andy Cannon is 5'7".
Is John Bon Jovi's middle name Bon? Andy Bon Cannon. I'm going to go for that one because it's hilarious.
Okay, number two.
Number three.
Number three, Andy Cannon is 5'7". So, Andy Cannon didn't score his first goal for 369 days. It was 469 days. Andy Cannon isn't 5'7". He's 5'9". So, Andy Cannon does have the same middle name as John Bon Jovi.
Which is?
Francis.
Oh.
Question
Not Bon,
two.
then.
No, not Bon. Question two. Wrexham have only had one red card since January 2022. Number two, the red card in the Man United friendly was the first red card given to an opposition player playing against Wrexham since the FA Cup fourth round game against Sheffield United. Or number three, none of the last 5 players sent off for Wrexham have had a single-digit squad number.
I'm going to go with number three.
Number three?
Yeah.
Phil?
Number three.
Number three, you're both wrong. So the last player sent off for Wrexham was Callum McFadzean.
Yeah.
Who's number 3.
Oh, yeah.
So that's wrong. Wrexham have only had one red card since January 2022.
Really? And that was obviously Callum McFadzean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, you confused me then. Don't ask me questions, this is my quiz. Number 3.
So I'm winning so far.
Yeah.
Just to let you know that, Phil.
Owen O'Connell has a family member who has written an autobiography called We Go to War. Number 2. Elliot Lee has a family member who played football in the Scottish Premiership. Or number 3. Ollie Palmer has a family member who is a King's Guard outside Buckingham Palace.
Ooh. I'm going to go with 3 because that something rings true with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phil?
Number 2.
Number 2. It is number 2. Elliot Lee. It's not his dad, it's his brother. So his brother actually played for Gillingham last year, but before that he played for Hearts in Scotland.
I know, but the Ollie Palmer thing, I think it was his dad that was something to do with the Queen.
His dad was a bodyguard for Prince Charles.
Yeah,
That's why I did it, because I thought, it's just too good.
Damn.
1-1. Okay. Wrexham are represented in the most recent EA Sports video game FIFA 23. Which of these player ratings is correct? Paul Mullin, 71. Elliot Lee, 68. Aaron Hayden, 64.
I knew I should have paid more attention when you and Alfie were playing FIFA. I'm just going to guess number 2.
Number 2, Elliot Lee?
Yeah.
Right. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Number 1.
Number 1, Paul Mullin. So you've gone for Paul Mullin, you've gone for Elliot Lee. No, it's Aaron Hayden. Of course it is. So we are going into the final question at 1-1.
Ooh.
I need to start doing tiebreakers because this happens way too often for me not to be doing tiebreakers. Yeah. Okay. Number 1. Ryan Barnett shares a birthday with Bruce Springsteen. Number 2. Mark Howard shares a birthday with Bruce Willis. Or number 3. Sam Dalby shares a birthday with Bruce Lee.
3.
Bruce Lee? Sam Dalby, whatever. Yeah, Sam Dalby shares a birthday with Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Number 1 we'll go for.
Number 1, so you've gone for Ryan Barnett shares a birthday with Bruce Springsteen. Well, I'm going to put that down there. We've got a winner.
I bet it's your dad, isn't it?
Who is this winner? It is my dad. It is indeed.
I'm not going to live that one down either now, am I?
No,
for the rest of my life.
No, not at all.
As I said, Chad, it's just,
luck.
Yeah. There again, I think I knew.
Yeah.
I always try and do it like that because we've got new fans. You get long-term fans, you've got new fans, and it's always nice that it's just a guessing game, isn't it? Because that's all it is. It's a bit of fun connected to Wrexham. It's a guessing game. Well, thank you very much to Phil/Dad for coming on this week.
/father-in-law.
/father-in-law for coming on this week. It's been really nice having you on. And thank you very much to everyone else. And we will see you again
when we're tanned
next week.
Bye.
Bye.